British police who shot dead a terrorist in South London have confirmed that the man had only recently been released from jail after serving a sentence for terrorism-related offences. Sudesh Aman was killed by police after stabbing 2 people. With the latest, here's Simon Jones.
Just moments after undercover officers have shot a convicted terrorist who stabbed a man and a woman on Streatham High Road.
This ain't real.
Another officer arrives on a motorbike as police attempt to clear the area. The man on the ground appears to be wearing a suicide vest.
I hear 3 shots and I see him how he dropped, and he was alive for a good 2-3 minutes on the floor. But he had vest. That's where police tell everybody we have to move back in case if the blast go off.
Reinforcements arrive. The area is flooded with police.
I saw the blood and I saw the guy on the floor and I see other people running, and then I see the police coming straight up the hill.
Passers-by come to the aid of those injured. The device turns out to be a fake, but the mystery of why the police were so quickly on the scene is revealed.
Armed officers who were part of a proactive counter-terrorism surveillance operation and were following the suspect on foot were in immediate attendance and shot a male suspect dead at the scene. The suspect had been recently released from prison where he had been serving a sentence for Islamist-related terrorism offences.
And this is the man, Sudesh Aman. He only got out of jail just days ago. The 20-year-old had served half his sentence of 3 years and 4 months for possessing documents containing terrorist information. In a notebook, he wrote a life goal was to die a martyr. There are clear parallels with the fishmonger's hall attack on London Bridge in November. The attacker, Usman Khan, pursued by a man with a fire extinguisher after he'd killed 2 people. Khan, too, had been released halfway through his sentence. Back then, the government said it would force dangerous terrorists to serve their whole jail terms. And now it says it will go further with new initiatives.
Those measures will build upon the actions that we've already put in place very swiftly in terms of investing in counter-terror, police overhauling the licensing conditions and the licensing regime around counter-terrorism offenders, and ending the early release. We need legislation to do that, so ending the early release of counter-terrorism offenders. It's right that these individuals are kept behind bars.
But this latest incident raises new questions, not only about the length of jail terms, but also about the effectiveness of police surveillance. How a man considered so dangerous that he was being followed was able to carry out a terror attack in broad daylight. Simon Jones, BBC News.
Well, just a short while ago, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has been speaking to the BBC and says that he's angry that the government has failed to change anti-terror laws.
The question that I'm asking is, why is it that there was a need for this man to be under the close supervision he was with an armed team? If the authorities knew he was a danger, why didn't the judge have the tools at his or her disposal to give this person a sentence commensurate with what he was accused of doing? And why didn't the probation service, the prison service, properly punish and reform him? But also, why was he allowed to be released if the authorities knew he was going to be a danger? And here's my other concern. We know there are more than 200 convicted terrorists in prison. We also know there are, roughly speaking, 70 plus who've been released onto our streets. What reassurance can I receive from the government that these people are properly being punished and reformed, those in prison, not released until they're no longer a danger to the public, but also those that are out? I want to be reassured that the authorities have the resources and support they need to make sure we're being kept safe. Then if somebody's breaching their licence, if somebody is a danger to the public, they should be back in prison so we can all be safe.
The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan.